Welcome back to the Real and Uncut podcast, where we discuss movies and TV shows and give our ratings. Today's episode is based off of Interstellar. It's it's a great movie, and so we didn't want to just be a bad movie podcast. We wanted to, shine some light on really great movies. Interstellar was made in 2014. The synopsis is: a former NASA pilot leaves his family behind to join a mission through a wormhole near Saturn, searching for a new habitable planet as Earth becomes unable to sustain humanity. The film follows the crew's journey and the effects of time dilation on his relationship with his daughter back home. This one was a Russell pick.
I did pick this one.
It's well done, though.
Oh, it's such a good... Because we talked about War of the Worlds being our litmus test for the worst movie, and I do think this is a good test for like the best movie, in my opinion. I don't want to give ratings too early, but this movie's perfect, I think.
It is. I mean, like you mentioned, the time dilation. Like, there's so many cool things in this movie that, this movie is, I think, widely appreciated, but also it does have some controversy around it just because, like, it does a pretty good job of sticking with certain scientific facts for quite a while. Then there is quite a bit that develops that's kind of open to interpretation, so everybody's got their opinions on it,
And I think the budget of this, it's a $165 million budget, which is similar to a Numb Named Norm. You'll get that if you watch the last episode.
Can you imagine a Gnome Named Norm with a Nolan-esque budget?
I read that.
And
I read that
production?
without fact checking it, and I should have known better because my brain didn't really.
He'd have had Michael Caine as the Sam Waterston role.
So the box office was $677 million on its original release worldwide, which is substantial win for their budget. I love Matthew McConaughey. I'm just gonna put that out there. Like, he is one of the actors that he definitely is going to go down as like a Hall of Famer. But like, whenever people talk about actors, like you listed a bunch in the last episode, and Matthew McConaughey, he's just one of like those guys that if you haven't had the chance to listen to Greenlight, it's his autobiography, like memoirs thing. Listen to the audiobook version of it where he reads it. So it's just like 8 hours of listening to Matthew McConaughey talk about his life. It is epic.
He's an interesting person, and it's the way he communicates and talks in general. I think that really translates into his acting too.
And when you have such a distinct voice and style, it's very easy to fall into playing the same character. And I don't think he does that at all. Like,
Not in
he
this one.
plays so many different types of characters throughout his career.
Well, in this one especially, like he just plays the dad amazingly.
Oh, perfect, dude.
It's kind of an accident we even have him as an actor. I mean, you guys we probably all heard that story, but like Dazed and Confused is his first role. It was kind of a happy accident. Like, I think it was somewhat random. And then he had, that classic line, was it
All right, all right, all right.
that one. And then
The girls.
the girls one, because he's like, I keep getting older and they stay the same age.
Which
you
was
definitely went
cheeky.
Forrest Gump on that one, though.
Life is like a box of chocolates. I am not an impressionist.
It's crazy because that line is just straight up like a child predator type.
Oh,
line.
yeah, like I was about to say, in the 80s, that's cheeky. And now it's like that's statutory.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do think, so with that role he got, which we need to get back onto Interstellar eventually, but with that role, he wasn't supposed to have like a big speaking part, but he ended up, when the moment arose, like they worked in a line for him. And that's where he like really got, but I think he was doing acting before that, or like that was one of the first, it goes into it in Greenlight, but it's amazing. Like his tale of like his parents were like super toxic for each other, but like so in love. And so they'd have like all out brawls, and like his mom like cut his dad and it was all bloody. And then they ended up having sex in the middle of the floor with the kids around, like just like fucking wild stories. Like, don't quote me on that, but like it's in the book of just like how insane his upbringing was. But he just seems like he came out, he's almost like a Buddha with the way that he, in his memoirs, the way that he like kind of makes his way through life, because he didn't really get into the trappings of normal Hollywood life. Like he lived in a camper. Like once he had a family, he's like, if we're going to be filming, I'm bringing my family with me and they're just going to be there with me. And so everywhere they go for a movie, if he's in Australia for 2 months for a movie, his family's in Australia for 2 months with the movie. So it's really cool.
That is cool.
And I think it shows you, like, if you really value family, you can bring them along. Like, yeah, and maybe if you're 11th on the call sheet, it doesn't make financial sense to bring your family out. But when you're number one, there's a lot of people like, oh, I spend all this time away from my family. I'm like, well, you don't. If you're that big on the call sheet, you don't have to. You can bring them along. And it also goes down to what your family wants to do, if they want to come along. But
yeah, so one of my favorite themes from this movie, obviously, is just the amount of time it covers and the whole time dialect thing, which, you know, that was one of the things where I think it was scientifically somewhat supposedly accurate or whatever. But like, you know, it opens in 2067, but they talk about early 21st century, 2019, 2057, like it covers a lot of stuff. But then, you know, we end the movie and it's 2156, you know, and it's like, it's such a long spanning story, and some of that time dialect stuff where, you know, when they're through the black hole and they're exploring these planets, like, you know, was it 3 hours was like, you know, 7 years or something.
An hour was 7 years.
An hour was 7 years, yeah, back on Earth, which is just a wild thing to start thinking about. I think it's cool because it's not just scientifically cool, but like there's a lot of emotion in this, which I think Christopher Nolan got some heat for, like, a lot of times, which I don't think he should have. I think a lot of times people up to that point had been like his movies didn't have a lot of emotion in it, and this one did, but I think it was in the best way because, like, the way they didn't just explain the time dilation, they showed families getting older and things happening. Like, it was kind of a heavy movie, you know?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I was absolutely, it's a heavy movie.
I think the wildest, like, representation of the time dilation, though, is like when they get down to that planet and that wave is coming, and, you know, they're like, how's the wreckage still here? Well, I can't remember the Anne Hathaway's character, but she said, like, they just got there and just wrecked, like, in the amount of time that it took us to get here, do all that, blah blah blah, like, they just arrived and wrecked. So, like, when we got there, like, time was so short that the body was still probably there, like, just died, because the time dilation to get there, do all this stuff, it takes all that time on our side. But then once you get on the planet, like, it's just a blink of an eye. And so time hadn't passed on that planet the same way that it did for them to get there.
Amelia Brand. So she was Professor Brand's daughter.
Yeah.
Yep. That wall of water was insane. Like, there's just some excellent shots in that movie. It was also visually really, really cool, not just the story, which is a good combination there.
And on the time thing, when they get back from the planet, the first time I watched that movie, and you see old boy's been up there for 23 years. Imagine waiting for 23 years, and then all you want to do is talk to somebody, and they're like, hold on, I got to go check my voicemail real quick. You know what I mean? Like, he just wanted to hang out, and they're like, nah, but I got to do this real quick. Because, I mean, for them, it was, 2-3 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're thinking about their families and stuff.
That is a great scene, too, when McConaughey is watching his family grow up through the voicemails, and when he's just breaking down in tears. Like, that shit gets me every time I watch it.
Yeah. No, it was, like, the way that they did the movie played out so well. It's still, like, confusing to me, like, how, like, chicken and egg, like, how it all happens, because, you know, yes, Matthew McConaughey gets back, sends the messages to his daughter, but, like, at the same time, like, write her a different message this time. Like, you still, like, you know, you said stay. What else could you say that would maybe actually make it? And I know that, like, the whole point is that, like, they're saving humanity and all this stuff, but, like, he's like, don't leave. And it's like, just write her a fucking different message this time.
Well, I think in my interpretation of it is, if you're to write a different message, it stops being about the love and the emotion that is bridging the time gap and more becomes logical. And the whole point of being able to bridge that time gap wasn't something that you can just do. Like, love was and this might be, like, the cheesiest part of the movie, but love is a physical property, essentially, that is able to bridge that gap.
Yeah, that's what the Amelia Brand was talking about, was, you know, going on love. She wanted to go to the other planet to visit the guy that she was in love with. But then Matthew McConaughey's character made her go to the other planet where Matt Matt Damon was there.
Matt Damon.
Which was great. Like if you saw that
He
movie
gets
and you
forgotten
didn't
about.
know that he's in, because he was in zero of the promotion. He didn't even go to the premiere. Like they hid him from the world. So when you're watching that movie and you're like, oh, it's fucking Matt Damon. Like it was such a great
And
moment.
he's a monster.
I want to go back to what you were saying because that is you were talking about him doing the message and everything because the whole anomaly and like the paradox that this is what people kind of grapple with is like the ghost in Act 1 is Cooper in Act 3, but he isn't changing the past, he's fulfilling it. It's like this loop with no clean origin. It's like you can't. It's hard to like wrap your mind around that, and that's what like all these people have counter theories and
Yeah. It's fun to think about. Like
is.
there's nothing wrong. And like that's the thing. It's like this movie is impeccable. So like you can wish that it went this way or think about it in a different way, but like as a open and shut case, this is a fantastic because it is like multiple movies all in one kind of mixed together and blended. It's very Tarantino-esque of like how you're seeing the future and the past and they're all playing together. But it just works so well. And yeah, I love the Matt Damon part though. Like Matt, he's such a great villain, like just super self-centered, but like he's like, I'm doing it for society. No, you're doing it because you don't want to die.
Yeah.
I'm doing it so that society can move on. No.
Which he even makes the line where he's like, I hope you never have to experience the type of like loneliness or what he's been through because it's broken him. And he recognizes that it broke him. But even that point, he's like, like I've been out here so long, man. Like I got to get out of here.
Don't open the hatch. Don't open
Probably the most intense in theater experience of a movie I've seen is them doing the docking scene.
Oh, docking is pretty intense.
Me and Dylan dock all the time.
Neither of us with foreskin.
Yeah, it's really hard.
It's that whole thing. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, I couldn't even. It's that whole thing about like time is currency. You know what I mean? Like that recurring theme. Did you guys hear about the? There is kind of this fun thing because you know like people will like examine the film and like, all right, I'm going to count up all the years and everything. And there's technically 13 missing years that everybody then is like, you know, has the open interpretation of where it's like, okay, well, where are the 13 missing years? Because we add up when they say everything happens. And so some of the theories on that are like, well, you know, you don't see everything in the movie. So some of it could be unshown months long transits between planets or, you know, extra time slippage. Like when he was inside the Tesseract, like we don't exactly know what happened as on his way out, like, which is fine. Another fun, open to interpretation thing. But I thought that was interesting. Like, all right, who went through there and tried to figure this out?
There's always somebody. There's always somebody.
Yeah, I definitely don't get into movies that deep of like the theories behind everything and like gonna add up. Like, I mean, because to me, I don't want to spoil my thoughts on the movie by trying to analyze it too deeply.
Yeah.
Like if there's 13 missing years, and I don't so they're saying like after he goes through the Tesseract, like when he gets found.
No, just in the whole timeline, they're saying there's 13 years unaccounted for when they start talking about how long it took to do this or that, but then you see years that they're somewhere. There's just like 13 missing years altogether.
I got cut on the editing room floor. Like,
Yeah, and then the whole thing is also like he goes through a black hole. There's all kinds of weird time dilation. Like it's, I'm not worried about a 13-year gap when the whole movie is about time being fucking weird and wonky.
Well, like Dylan was saying, I mean, that takes away from the enjoyment if you're going to analyze it that hard, because you want to just like enjoy it for what it is and then have that open thinking about however you took it and not worry about pinpointing something that might be right or wrong.
I'm not a physicist of any sort, so like to me, like the wormhole, does that work in science? Does him going into the black hole, like none of that stuff has to make actual logical sense to me. Like they did a very good job of keeping it very scientifically accurate for the stuff that is known, and then beyond that, it's like theoretical, and so there's no known way to like really analyze that stuff. So I'm open to it just being, you know, there's 13 years.
And the cool thing about this too was none of it was based on a screenwriter thing. Like, so it was like the Kip Thorne's 2 rules saying like nothing actually violates established physics, and all the wild speculation just springs from science and maybe just something not shown in the movie. Because apparently he spent 2 weeks talking Nolan out of the faster than light travel, which is cool because that would have taken away from a lot of the time dilation, you know, too.
So I think you have a fact about what they did with the cornfield.
Oh yeah, so they, instead of CGI or whatever, they had found the location and they planted the corn and actually made all, like, that's real. Like, they planted,
Dang.
they didn't find it. They planted all that corn.
How long did that take?
For the production.
Yeah, for months and months, just for the production, filmed those scenes, and then sold the corn for a profit. So they actually made a profit off of the corn in that movie.
That's a great fact.
So, and a wild thing is TARS was largely a practical effect. So there was a guy inside of TARS instead of it just being all CGI and like fake. Like TARS was puppeted by a person.
Yeah. It's a star anagram too, apparently. That's kind of funny.
It's a great design too. Very minimal, but an awesome design for a robot.
Yeah, I'd never seen one. Like, has there been something like that?
No,
That was
I've
a
never.
different design.
Yeah, because it was like the 4 bars, and then it's kind of like the
And then
2
you
or
had
the
arms
legs.
that could
Yeah,
come out and
But like, didn't it kind of like, it was like a rectangle though, right? Before it.
yeah, and it could, like move all the bars kind of like that. Like, yeah, it was a really cool design.
There was a lot of cool like things with this, like those elderly interviewees bookending the film are like real Dust Bowl survivors from Ken Burns' 2012 documentary. They weren't actors.
Yeah, no, it was
Nolan
real.
wanted the dread of a planet out of balance to feel credible.
wait, what'd you say?
All the beginning documentary footage where they're talking about the dust. That's from a Dust Bowl documentary that Ken Burns did.
Oh wow.
2012,
That Nolan was using that as like inspiration for parts of the movie, and then he just liked it, so he kept it as like and made them. So those are actually real
bookends the
people.
film, yeah.
Yeah.
So it does make it feel pretty real. And I didn't know that when I watched it.
See, I don't know why, but in my brain, I thought that one of those interviews was of the daughter when she was older, but I guess
I
not.
wonder if it just looked like her.
I mean,
yeah.
old white lady.
They did have an old lady that they kind of allude to at the end. It made it seem like it might have been the daughter, but I
Because
think
she was talking about her dad being a farmer and all that stuff, and I was just like, that's the daughter
Yeah.
when she's old.
I think they just found a clip that fit perfectly for what they needed. Oh man,
Yeah, that feels like, without saying it out loud, that's what I thought. I just assumed it. So I guess when you have an old white lady, it can look like an old white lady that you're having as an actress.
didn't know Dylan was racist.
Just
Crazy.
against
Just old white
white
ladies. Yeah.
There's so many themes. We were talking about like just all the science stuff, time is currency, like, lies for the greater good. There's a lot of lies in this movie, technically for the greater good. Like brands plan a lie. There's like fake data. There's just, Cooper's like, I'm coming back because then he, didn't want to put her in danger. Like there's just all these reoccurring themes. There's so many like crossing themes in this movie.
And they set the line up well too with the TARS at the beginning when they're like leaving Earth. And he has TARS bring down his true setting. Because TAR's true setting's at 100 and he has them bring it down pretty much to be tactful. But that is a good little nod to the fact that becomes a theme later on in the movie.
Yeah, it does. It does.
What are you looking up, Dylan?
Somebody, like in this notes, it says that originally Steven Spielberg was supposed to direct it, but I'm looking it up.
Oh, interesting.
So I think, if I'm correct, I think Spielberg was going to direct it. Or no, maybe I'm tripping. Because there was something that happened where they were going to give Nolan a movie, and then somebody took it and did it. So then they gave Nolan the Batman franchise.
Oh.
And then I think it was Interstellar, and then Spielberg ended up not doing it, and then eventually.
Yeah, so it says that Steven Spielberg was attached to direct an earlier version of the film. That draft had Murph written as a boy, sent probes into space instead of people, and gave the robots a more humanoid look. And then Steven Spielberg said that Interstellar was a much better movie after Christopher Nolan took over as director.
Dang.
I did not know that.
It was nominated for 5 awards at the 87th Academy Awards, but it won Best Visual Effects, which is not a surprise.
It's it just sucks that certain genre movies like they can't get the recognition of being Best Picture.
I know.
Because they're in space or they have a
Right.
horror element.
Because it deserved more than that.
Oh yeah, it deserved. I mean, I don't know what else was Best Picture that year. I think if we're talking 2014, I believe Birdman won that year. But Birdman is a great movie, and actually, I have it written down for something, but it's not Interstellar. Interstellar is
you're
one
right.
of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
Him and that brain. Best Picture, Birdman. I just looked it up on Wiki.
Yeah, what's up?
Just
If I could just translate this to all the other aspects of my life and not just movie and film or TV.
Well, you found your place here, Russell.
Yep.
Keeping all the tidbits here.
He's our fact checker.
I'm home now, guys.
So most of the movie was not shot with green screen. It was all like projection, and so they shot the actors against projection of the outer space rather
cool.
than doing green screen stuff.
And when they're escaping with all the dust, they have just giant fans right off camera that's blowing all the dust. I mean, that was real. And
That's a cool way to do
it
it.
looked real. I mean, a lot of times special effects are so good it's hard to tell, but man, it had a quality to it.
well, the way Nolan uses special effects and CGI especially is the way I think is it's best used as an additive and not as like the whole piece of the pie.
Yeah.
So if you go back and you look at like even like Batman Begins, I think they have Chicago is Gotham, and then they just add a couple buildings and signs and some neon
Make it a little different.
to make it look a little different, but the bones of it is all real. Like, and he's probably the best at using practical and CGI together in a believable way, where you don't really even notice.
It took me watching it this weekend to realize that Timothée Chalamet was in that movie.
Yeah, I always forget. Like, I go back and watch it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, because when that movie came out, I mean, that was one of his first big roles, and he hadn't
Well,
got...
I mean, he's a kid.
Yeah, he hadn't
Like-
got any recognition yet. And then a few years later is when, Call Me By Your Name and all these things started coming out, and he was starting to get nominated for awards, but...
I guess he filmed a lot more scenes for it, but a lot of it got cut. And so
he thought he was going to be a bigger part of the movie.
And then I guess when he watched it for the first time, he cried because like he was like disappointed that most of his stuff got left on the cutting room floor. But
He said he cried every time Casey Affleck came on screen because that was the older. He's like, well, I guess I'm not in the movie anymore.
I mean, he did a great job as the young kid too.
No, I'm a big supporter of Chalamet. I mean, I ain't seen everything he's done, but I think he's he's the best actor right now of like that younger generation. Like he's the one that's going to carry the DiCaprio torch, going to carry that kind of torch.
What do you think about his ballet and opera comment?
I mean, I don't really care for ballet or opera either, and like it's, he got shit for it, maybe rightfully so, but he's allowed to have an opinion.
My opinion on that is like, we don't listen to AM radio anymore, and nobody's like, oh, you can't shit on the AM radio stations. Like it's one of those things where like, yes, dance, ballet, all that stuff, it has a place, but you can't expect that to be your livelihood if nobody's coming to see it. It's like women's sports. Like if you want women's sports to be successful, watch women's sports. Yeah. And if people aren't attending the ballet, and like that's basically, I think what his point was, is that he went into movies because there is a career there is opportunity there, and so he wanted to go that direction rather than like lean towards theater and ballet, which are not necessarily a dying art form, but they are not as in the popularity of the current zeitgeist as what they used to be.
No, I think that's all he was saying. I don't think he was trying to say like, fuck ballet,
No.
fuck all this. He's just saying like, there's no money in it, and it's okay to be like, I love smooth jazz, and that's what I love to play. There's no money in it, not now, and so I think that's all he was trying to say.
What do you think about that? Did you hear about that controversy?
I did not.
Yeah, so he basically, without like being like, I mean, I guess you can consider it. I can't remember what wasn't it Matthew McConaughey that he was talking to?
Think so.
It was some sort of like podcast, and he said something about not pursuing like ballet and theater and things like that because there's nothing to like, it's not popular anymore, and like everybody shit on him for it.
He was calling it like a dying art form, and they're like, well, it's been around before you and it'll be around after you, and I'm like, that still doesn't mean it's profitable.
Yeah. It's a lens to look at it. Looking at a couple like fun things. We've talked about how good something looks, but being that, we've got some film experience over the years and video and all that stuff. Looking at like, this is a movie where I'm actually really interested. Like, apparently it was shot on 35 millimeter film. That's why it looks so good. And IMAX. Did you guys see it in IMAX?
I did not.
I did. That was crazy. 70 millimeter photography. But this is the cool thing. At one point, some of the film sequences were shot on an IMAX camera installed in the nose cone of a Learjet. That's pretty cool.
What scenes would that have been?
I don't know, but I want to figure that out because that is wild.
I do know I saw the like I don't know, he's a cinematographer, but he's also one of the camera operators for this movie. Was lugging around an IMAX camera on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And those things are crazy heavy. And he's just one of them guys that's built that way. And Nolan was like, all right, I'm going to abuse this. And so that's why you have so many of those great shots with the 70 millimeters, because the dude could, like on the water planet. I mean, there's footage of him almost knee deep in water with this giant camera. And Nolan, that was the first movie they'd worked together. I forgot what he wasn't a big guy like the cinematographer. Nolan liked him. He could carry it around, and he has worked on every Nolan movie since Interstellar because they just vibe so well together.
Yeah, it says they retooled an IMAX camera to be handheld for shooting interior scenes.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's
dude.
insane.
Like I've held, like Dylan's got some of these cameras, and if you hold it for 5 minutes, you're like, God, my arms are getting tired.
Yeah, and they're like a tenth of the size of an IMAX.
Yeah. So more power to that guy.
So we have shot on 70 millimeter or
35 millimeter and 70 millimeter is the IMAX camera.
yeah.
So we shot on both.
Yeah, both.
Why at the same time for two different cuts, or did he just downscale the?
Well, he did
70
35 millimeter film in the Panavision anamorphic format, and IMAX 70 millimeter. So it's probably a mixture. I don't know.
Oh, I think I noticed that where some of it is full screen and then some of it is widescreen, like depending on whether it was like back in the day, like when they're filming on Earth, I think it's in normal widescreen format, which would have been the 35 millimeter Panavision. And then when he goes to space and everything, I think it goes to like full widescreen with no bars.
I think you're right.
Doesn't no? Because I'm thinking, doesn't the aspect ratio change when they're shipping off Earth? I might be wrong.
Yeah, that's when it goes to like the full. If
Yeah.
you're watching on a TV, anamorphic is when it's got black bars on the top and bottom, so it's like super widescreen. And then I think once they go off planet, then it takes up the full screen, so the black bars go away.
And it happens, if I remember correctly, it happens as they're going off planet. So it's like there's so much going on that you almost don't recognize that it's happening.
But then when they cut back to scenes on Earth, I think it goes back to the widescreen.
Which is a good technical way to kind of showcase the sprawlingness of
It wasn't jarring.
space. No, it wasn't at all.
No.
But it's Nolan. I mean, he knows what he's fucking doing.
I was actually interested to know. I was just looking this up because I'm like, where was this shot? So in the province of Alberta, Canada, I think most of the principal stuff was. That's
so
interesting.
like the cornfield and everything.
A cornfield's still mentioned, but I'm like, that seems weird that they'd have a cornfield up there.
Well, they had to plan it themselves. Like there wasn't one of those.
They could have shot that
places-
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Additional scenes involving the dust storm and McConaughey's character were also shot in Fort McLeod. Yeah, I want to know where the cornfields were, though. Oh, it's some in Iceland, too. That makes sense.
That would have been like the off-world stuff.
Yep, that makes sense. Where Nolan had previously filmed scenes for Batman Begins in 2005. Yep, one covered in ice, other in water. Yep, they did all that stuff there.
All right, we got to go there for research.
I know, right?
For this episode.
It says the crew transported mock spaceships weighing about 10,000 pounds. They spent 2 weeks shooting. That's insane. Like
What weighed 10,000 pounds?
the 2 mock spaceships
Oh,
weighing
wow.
about, that's insane.
The weird thing about or the funny thing about Nolan I've seen is that he's one of the only directors that can walk in to a pitch meeting and walk out with $200 million. And I'm pretty sure that's probably what they gave him for this, and he still came in at 165. Like he goes under budget on pretty much everything he's ever made.
And still
so-
goes big.
Yeah, and so then when you come in and you're like, because I think that's what it is. He knows he could probably make it for 150, but if he gets you to give him 200 and he doesn't use all the 200, then as the studio, you're like, well, he was under budget. We can use this guy. It's all about how you frame it.
Yeah.
But God, he's so fucking good.
I know we were talking earlier, like I for some reason forgot, we won't talk about that movie now, but what was the other movie I was talking about earlier? Because this one's mind bender to me.
Tenet,
No, not Tenet, because that was terrible, but
Inception.
Inception, yeah, thank you. Because that was one of my other favorite movies. And I'm like, he's done two two of my favorite movies that
Yeah,
I
I mean-
would watch again and again.
And you haven't seen Prestige,
No.
but Prestige is to me up there with one of the best movies ever. So I mean, he's done Memento's great.
Memento. That's classic.
Insomnia is a good movie, but then you got the Batman trilogy, all three great. The Dark Knight Rises, whatever. Yeah. It's not the best of the three, but it's still good. Then he was doing like one for them, one for me. So he did Batman Begins, then he did Prestige.
Yeah.
Then he did Dark Knight, then he did Inception, then Dark Knight Rises and Interstellar. And I mean, to have that 6-film run is fucking crazy.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's known for quite a bit.
And I mean, Tenet was whatever, but Dunkirk's good.
Yep.
I feel like there's another his that I've missed.
Well, Justice League and then Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer was good.
Yeah. You know what? I have not seen Oppenheimer yet.
I've only watched it once. I need to go back and watch it again because I've seen Tenet twice just to make sure I didn't like it.
And the verdict was?
I didn't like it.
I haven't watched it.
There's a great line in it. And Nolan's I think it's because his brother didn't help him write. Like Jonathan Nolan helps him write most of the movies, and Jonathan Nolan did not have anything to do with Tenet. There's a female character in the movie who's just one of the worst written characters I've ever seen. And there's this whole plot where the bad guy is trying to do something to time that's going to then just make time stop being. And her whole thing throughout the movie is she's trying to save her son from the bad guy. The bad guy has her son for some reason. And so they're explaining the plan to her. Like the good guys are explaining the plan of what the bad guys are going to do. And they're like, yeah, if he succeeds, everyone will cease to exist. Everyone in all of the planet will cease to exist. And she's like, oh, even my son? It's like, yeah, you dumb bitch. Even your son.
No, except for your son.
Yeah, everybody but your son. So I don't know. It's not well written. But again, I don't want to sit here and shit on it because I think if you're the quality of Nolan, you get a few mulligans. You get a few that aren't great.
It was just one of those ones that everybody didn't understand. A lot of it didn't make sense. You kind of left confused. You're like, what?
And I think with some people, when they feel that way, they're like, oh, because I didn't understand it, that means it's good.
Yeah.
Like it's smart because I don't get it. Where it's like, or it's just not well done.
Yeah. So circling back, do we got any other thoughts on Interstellar?
I was just trying to find more details on why or like when they were using the 35 millimeter versus the 70 millimeter, but there's not really a direct breakdown. I just assumed that it was like when they were on Earth, it was one way, and then when they were off planet, it was another. But I would have to watch it. Yeah. Like I will end up watching this again in the near future, so I'll know then. But
we can do a recap. You know, come back and. Oh shit! Dylan, knock everything everywhere. I mean, it's your stuff, but
yeah, no.
What is that remote thing?
It is the lights, dark mode.
I like that. Mood lighting. That's cool.
All with one button.
Ooh, Dylan's so fancy.
Dylan's got his fancy set here. We just walk in and we're glad he has all this.
He has floating light switches. Like you have a board with 3 wireless light switches on it. You're the fucking man.
I threw the HVAC guy. The AC went out last week, and I had an AC guy come in. He borrowed a key from my mother-in-law so that he could get in while it was our wedding anniversary, so we were out about town and wasn't able to come back. And so he gets in here and he's like, where's the light switches? And I was like, it's over on the rack. And he's like, I don't see it. And I watched him on my little Ring camera, and he's like, I don't see it anywhere. I was like, yeah. So like on the shelf, there's like a board, and then there's like 3 light switches on it. They're right there. But when we came in, this studio originally had 1 light switch. You turned on the lights in the front, all the lights in the whole place came on. And I am a very dark mode guy, so everything
Me too.
the moodiness of this podcast, like I'm more moody than Scott's angle because Mike usually sits over there and he does not like to.
Dylan's other couple podcasts, and so I get the shiny forehead.
I feel like I'm a good middle ground. Cut to me. Yeah, I'm super pale.
You just got to put on a hat, Scott.
I know, right? I guess.
Can we get some? I'll go back.
I was gonna say, I guess one last.
We do extra lighting, the
Extra
reflection
lighting.
off of my head.
Oh, we got a little key or like a little kiss of a highlight on there.
I guess one last thing. I guess we had mentioned this off air was we had a brief discussion on this. Was I'm glad they didn't try to make a 2, and I hope they never do, because the whole story that gets not even hinted at, just shown that what it's going to be. Cooper going back. Murph told him to go save Anne Hathaway's character because she's stuck on a planet, we just kind of know that, like, what's that movie going to be about? Oh, he makes it there, and then he gets her, and then they can populate the planet. Like, I feel like the second
they're
movie,
getting busy.
yeah, but not them populating the planet.
Yeah, that's
but,
what you said.
It's just
That's
a
what you
50
said.
Shades of Grey style sequel. They're just doing it the whole movie.
But like, I feel like they'd have to work so hard to make it as interesting
Oh, you
because we just know where it's going now.
Yeah, there's no point to continue.
The mysteries have been solved, So
I agree.
I'm glad they didn't make a second one.
I think people get too in their heads about what they want from a movie, and I think with that ending scene, you knew. Well, you can make whatever mind movie you want to play that out, but it shows her there. It shows the new settlement that she's got set up there, and everything's good to go. She's burying like the guy that she's in love with, and the voiceover's just going, talking, and you know that most likely Cooper went there. They were, buddy set up things, maybe fall in love, whatever. But that's the movie that you can make in your head. There's no need for, because none of the, like, that's one of the things I hate about sequels when people really want them, is a lot of times the drama and the new scenarios that you put yourself in have to be so outlandish and weird because that wasn't the concept of the original movie. And so they make a second one and try to shoehorn things into it to make it interesting. But you could not make that compelling of a story a second chapter.
A lot of people have a hard time taking what's given to you throughout a movie and then being like, having your own interpretation of probably where it went. Like, a lot of people just want that nice little bow and they want to see it.
And I think people really ruin movies like that just because, without the bad guy actually being bad, or without the good guy like failing or falling and like there being a sad ending, without all of that stuff, like if everybody's like, all right, and then we're happy, like that is not as emotionally driven of a story, and it doesn't stick with you, and it doesn't like sit there and make you ruminate about, oh yeah, how all this, because movies would be so boring if it's like, yep, we got to go through this wormhole, and then, oh, we set up civilization. Yeah, no, you have to have the fucking Matt Damon fucking up the spaceship so that they can't get back on it, and then now there's this crazy scene of, Cooper's going to spin and connect it because he's the man. Like, all of that stuff builds the tension, and I feel like a lot of times people just are so subsurface or like surface level with what they wish the movie would be, and then not realizing that if you had that movie, it would be boring and nobody would want to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's cool to have like I always say, I try to watch movies with a certain lens of maybe what it's about and not try to place my own wants on it. Like, I like to try to be in the moment and just kind of enjoy it. Doesn't mean I won't critique some things, but it also doesn't mean I'm going to hate it or not. Like, too many people just rip on movies if it's not exactly what they wanted.
Yeah.
That's not the point.
And if you want to critique it and really overanalyze it, that's what the second watch is for. Like, I mean, you can obviously watch it and get what you get from the first watch, but I like to kind of what you do, just turn it all off. Try not to overanalyze too much. And there are some where the pacing's slow, and that's the point of the movie, but you can always go back to it.
Well, and I just don't like to be too hard on movies just because I know what it takes, like, even from small productions, like what it takes to make something. And then you're talking about something with so many moving parts, so many different hands in the pie. Like, yes, you have a writer, you have a director, you have producers and executive producers, and then like the studio and all these people dictating where something goes. And it's not any one of those people that could make it fail. Like, any of those people could make it fail. And so I try to look at most movies through a light of, what good can I see in it rather than just shit all over a movie. Because they spent years, like from writing to like releasing. There's years of work of thousands of hours of people's time put into it. And like, it's very easy to make a shitty movie. It's very, very hard to make a fantastic movie.
And we're speaking from a lens of, being involved with smaller productions that are just as hard, if not harder. Like, it's
not harder,
but sorry, not harder to make, but like harder to be successful maybe. But, it's all hard. It's a lot of moving parts and it's a lot of work and it's not easy.
No. And that's why I give a lot of grace. Like, I mean, I say it like Game of Thrones. Yeah, they failed on like the last 2 seasons. I think, there's many ways that it could fail. And I know there's a bunch of people that will just be like, oh, it's just the writers of it. And but
Yeah, like I think they
also
rushed the
there's-
last season. Like I'll agree with that.
but it's so easy to not think of all the series that you've watched and how many of them ended well, where you're like, at the end of it, you feel good about it. There's not, I know of like maybe 10 out of like the 100 that I've seen that I'm like, this is a very good one, or like the whole way through, this is a good series.
And I think some of that's what you said earlier. I think it's hard to not start getting invested in how you want it to go if it's a series, because it's not a movie. You're involved with it a lot longer. So some of that is possibly a little bit of that too. We're like, oh man, I didn't want to go that way.
Yeah.
You know?
You looked like you were about to say
Yeah, I
something.
know.
Keep going.
I was, and then I'm so bad about then he started talking, and now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna lock into what Scott says, and then I forgot what I was gonna say.
Just keep repeating it
So
in your
that's
head.
why I was like, please don't. I knew Dylan was gonna be like, and I appreciate you doing that, but I knew you were gonna call on
That's
me.
why you got to just go ahead and bowl over us every once in a while, just so you can get your point out.
Yeah.
I do have an unrelated note. Well, I mean, related to the movie, but not what I was about to say. So this is one of 3 movies where the plot of the movie is we have to go find Matt Damon. You got Saving Private Ryan, you have this, and you have The Martian. So my question to you guys is, let's rank the 3 Finding Matt Damon movies. Where does this, is this 1,
is
2, or 3?
Top dog. Yeah.
Top dog.
I feel like it is this, Saving Private Ryan, The Martian.
I'd agree.
All 3 great movies, but I put this just a little above Saving Private Ryan.
I don't think I've ever watched Saving Private Ryan. So
Really?
I'm not a big war movie guy. Like I don't like
That one
war
was one of
movies.
the best though. That one
It is
really-
one of the best. If you don't like war and gore,
I don't
the
mind gore.
opening
It's just
40
like,
minutes is fucking insane.
Wasn't that like kind of one of the first movies where they like it really like kind of hit, like it wasn't like it was a lot more realistic.
It was one of the first things, I think, like actual World War II veterans were getting PTSD from that
Yeah.
opening scene because of how realistic it was.
Yeah.
And you've got the guy running around with his holding his arm, and I mean it's pretty brutal. But then the movie after that is accented by these few big moments, but it is much more of a character piece after that. But it is the greatest opening sequence to a movie probably ever.
I mean, if we're just rating Matt Damon movies, my top pick is Team America.
Oh goodness.
That counts. We can count that.
I mean, he did such a wonderful job. Like, I mean, he really like encapsulated everything that was playing that character.
He has had a good run of cameos because he did Eurotrip. He's in Thor Ragnarok. The movie Unsane, he's just a voice on a voicemail. But anytime Matt Damon unknowingly pops up in a movie, it's probably going to be a good movie.
I can't remember the Thor Ragnarok.
When they do when Loki is watching the actors playing them, Matt Damon is Loki, and like the actor version of Loki in the movie.
Oh, I do remember that now. I was like, I could not. You said that. I'm like, it's been a while since I've seen it, but
Yeah, that's probably my favorite of the Marvel movies.
So, we like to have a little segment now where we discuss recommendations. So,
well, we got to rate.
we
yeah,
didn't
we
rate,
gotta
rate it.
I mean, we could wait till after.
I mean, it's a 1.
Yeah, it's a 1.
One. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
a
Now,
1.
Man, we don't want to deliberate on this a little bit. Just like fight a little bit.
I think I knew we were all going to go 1. I just didn't want to lose that thought.
Which means 10.
No, it's not 10th on the list of best movies.
No, it's the 1. It's 1 in the list of best movies.
Yeah, it's top
1.
top tier.
Top dog. All right, so we're going to the recommendations now. Each one of us has a recommendation.
So we like to recommend something either we watched recently and or something that we just would like to pass on as a great watch. So my suggestion for a great watch is the series Dark. It is a German show. It was actually the first German show produced by Netflix as an original series. It is this very weird, almost like Interstellar, like time dilation. Like it's weird in the way that the timeline doesn't match up, and so some kids go missing, and they're trying to solve this mystery, and through it unfolds this time travel weird relationship between all the characters and how they all, whether they're from the future, the past, present, and how all those relationships come together. And It's only in German, so my suggestion is to watch it with subtitles on and just read, because
It's worth it.
the overdub is just terrible. Like I can't watch anything dubbed, but the reading it and it keeps you locked in. It's fantastic series, and I would say the cinematography in this is bar none the best in any series I've ever watched.
You recommended that to me.
Yeah, you and Mike have been telling me about it.
And you did
I
say
need to check it
Netflix,
out.
right?
Yeah.
You did say
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
And so, Russell, what's your recommendation?
I think I referenced this either this episode or maybe the last episode, but the movie Birdman. It's got a longer title that I'm blanking on. It's like the importance of being virtuous, or one of those cool
Tagline-y
titles. Type of titles, a little avant-garde thing. But it's 2014 movie.
Oh, I forgot. I'm going to jump in.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I wanted to give the ratings because that's something that I've got on all of mine.
Go for it.
So IMDb, it's a 8.7. It's a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes for dark.
You said 97?
95%.
Oh, that's
which
way
is
less than what I said.
Yeah, way less. Two percentage. All right, so not to cut you off.
No,
but
you're
back to
good. We
Birdman.
needed. We can cut around that and make it all one seamless clip.
Can we?
For social media? Yeah, we can. Will we? I don't know, but we can. So my pick of the week is Birdman. A 2014 movie starring Michael Keaton, Emma Stone, Zach Galifianakis, and Ed Norton. Directed by, I'm gonna destroy this, Alejandro G. Inarritu.
Is he the guy that did
The Revenant.
Okay.
He did The Revenant, did 21 Grams, Babel. He hasn't really done much of note since Birdman as far as having the cultural impact that some of those had, because Birdman did win Best Picture. But the whole movie is shot like it's one take. Now, obviously, it's not. It's a lot of clever editing going on.
20 or what was that? 1917.
Yeah, similar to that. A lot of clever editing, but it's because of that, it keeps you so sucked into what's going on. Like if you can buy into that movie from the beginning, you're there the entire time. It's got some great camera work for people that pay attention to that kind of thing. It's just it's an artsy yet entertaining movie. Like, it doesn't lean on the artsiness to say this is why it's good. That's just kind of the framework to then make a good movie out of it.
It was The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
Okay, yes. Birdman and the Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. I need to say it so then I can cut that to the beginning of it.
Oh.
And then
Thought you were going to just store it in your Wikipedia.
No, I look dead in the camera, which I don't think you're supposed to do, but I do it sometimes. And like I'm a newsman. All right, so yeah, that's my pick of the week, Birdman, 2014.
Yeah, my pick of the week is a show with one season on Paramount Plus, and this one may be a little bit under people's radar if they haven't heard about it. And I don't think they've canceled it. I'm hoping for another season. It's called MobLand, and this one has Tom Hardy in it, Pierce Brosnan. Like it's a cool it's basically a street smart fixer caught in a brutal territory-driven gang war between two powerful London crime families, the Irish Harrigans and the rival Stevensons. And it's just pretty well done, pretty entertaining, but still good character development. And you're kind of wondering what side he's going to play some things on. So that one's a good one. And I really enjoyed the first season. That one is an 8.3 on IMDb and a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm not saying mine's better, but mine's better.
Mine's a 95%.
And at 8.7.
I did want to give mine last time, and I'm glad you reminded me that time. I didn't. So the ratings.
No, I think it's good just to because I feel like with our last episode's version of this, the Boondock Saints has a terrible rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but it is one of those cult classics where the people that have watched it that aren't, there's so many good movies out there that people shit on. And I feel like, especially with critics and things like that, something that's not critically acclaimed, didn't win any awards, can be a fantastic watch. But if you get too in your head about looking at a rating and see, I would watch the Boondock Saints with or without the rating. But if I saw the rating, it might jade how I look at it. And I think a lot of people get too uppity about, because it was not a great movie, but for the time when it was made, the actors that were in it, the story that it told was fantastic. And it was, But I guess it's when you watch it too, because like I started watching that, like I found it when I was like 18, and so I watched it 10 or 12 times within a couple years and fell in love with it, and it was just a feel good movie for me. Like the vigilante justice was very fitting, and so in that time frame, if I watched it for the first time now, would I love it as much? Maybe not, but
You still probably like it, I'm sure.
Yep.
the second one, do not watch it. If you've ever seen the Boondock Saints, don't go and watch the second one. That's the one movie that I walked out of the movie theaters for. I ended up watching it all the way through at home, but it was not worth watching it at all.
Agreed.
Agreed. I haven't seen it, but I'll agree.
You've seen the first one?
I've seen the first one a bunch because like I was high school age when I first started watching that movie, and it was
already a cult classic by that time.
Like so I mean it's edgy, it's fun, especially when you're a teenage boy. You're like, this is so fucking cool, and I mean it's still a cool movie, but yeah, I found it at the right time too.
I love the cat scene. The cat scene is my favorite scene.
I need to rewatch it.
I know it's been a minute.
It's been a while.
One of those I watched so many times in a short period that then you're like, I've seen it so many times, I don't need to rewatch it. And then it's 10, 15 years, and I'm like, oh, I'm starting to forget parts of that movie now.
Well, that was the first, like, that's why I got into The Walking Dead, was because of Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
And, like, I love his character in The Boondock Saints. And so I watched, and I still like his character in The Walking Dead. Like, I think he is by far my favorite character in that series. Like, Glenn is just, like, the ultimate good. But then there's Norman Reedus, who's just, you know.
He's a complicated character.
He's a great actor.
And I like that. Yeah, he's really good.
Can we go back to Interstellar real quick?
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot to mention this. Jessica Chastain is so fucking good in this and everything she does. And she's amazing. And Jessica, if you see this, I'm still single. We could hang out. I know all your movies.
So are we just going to use the ending of all these to try and get you a girl?
Yes. If it's Jessica Chastain or Zoe Saldana, I'll settle. I don't know. I saw her in Zero Dark 30, and I'm a big redhead. Like, I love redheads.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you got to think for redheads.
I've redheads with nice chests. I'm a big fan. But she has been in so many. I think attractiveness aside, I think she's one of our best actresses over the last 20 years. Made a lot of great movies. I mean, made some crap in there too, but I mean, The Martian, Interstellar.
She's in It Chapter 2.
She is. I walked out of the Chapter 1. I took my mom to see that movie because she's a big like classic Stephen King fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I took her to see It Chapter 1, and we walked out, and I'm like, if they don't get Chastain to play the redhead, they're dumb. And then they did, and I was right. And she did great, even though Chapter 2 is not as good as Chapter 1.
Have you watched Other Mommy?
No, but I've seen
she was in the first It too?
Yeah. Well, I think probably like gone back. Ava's okay. Miss Sloane is really, really good. But
Lawless? You see her in
Lawless is good. Tree of Life, she was in Dark Phoenix. I forget that she's in that movie. Most Violent Years, really, really good. It's her and Oscar Isaac, fucking incredible. Molly's Game is the one I'm trying to think of. Molly's Game I've watched probably 5 or 6 times. Great, great movie. And then I haven't seen everything she's done, but she's
well, like, I mean, how much of a
phenomenal.
fan are you if you haven't watched every single? Like, how are you going to ask this woman to be interested in you if you haven't seen all of her?
Because I do need to see the disappearance of Eleanor Rigby. They like shot that movie in 3 separate. There's a copy or cut of the movie that is from the guy's perspective, a cut of the movie from her perspective, and then a third cut of the movie that melds both of those together. I know all this. I haven't seen it. But no, she's great. Jessica Chastain's amazing.
I think
I would sacrifice everything Dylan owns to go out with her.
Oh, not even everything you own?
No, but everything you own, I'm cool.
I think we're making this podcast into a gnome named Norm Russell edition, where he's just like the popos.
Popos.
All right, on that note, if you guys like this podcast, you can see it anywhere that podcasts are available. So we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, and we will also have some social media clips coming out as these air.
Yep. If you want to know that reference, go back and look at the last episode.
Oh yeah, because where I pitch myself on. You can catch me on Plenty of Fish and Facebook dating. Everybody, thank you.
The popos.
Popos.
Later.